Hello everybody, how are you doing today? It is Saturday afternoon. I've been home for a little while. My son and I ran out to some of the local record stores today and picked up some unique vinyl. I got 5 or 6 albums. I'm hoping to get back to showing them on this channel. It's just tough when you're playing albums and you're trying to record because you're constantly stopping and starting and stopping and starting. So I haven't been doing that a lot lately, but I'm hoping to do some shop projects which will allow me to listen a little bit longer, and I should be able to talk a little bit about some of the music I've got going on in the shop. I want to turn you around and talk about this turntable. I've made some great progress. Here's the turntable. I've got it temporarily taken apart now. It's hooked up to the stereo. We were playing it the other day. We were blowing out some jams. It sounded great, and I'm going to tell you why I took it back apart. But I got the platen back here. Here's some of the stuff. The new stylus came in. You'll notice if you look at that, it's not coming straight out of the carriage. And the reason why is you take a piece of paper, and this is the center of a piece of notebook paper, and you'll notice how the line comes right out of the center. You bring the stylus over and lay it on the line at the outside of the record sorry, my fan's blowing it around, where the needle would start to start the record, and it should be parallel to this line. And then you rotate the paper as you bring the stylus in, and it needs to be parallel to the line where the music ends, and that ensures that your stylus is tracking properly. So I took care of that. I got my level, and you lay it on the platen this away and then this away, front to back, side to side. And I actually used some shims because my maker card is not perfectly level, especially sitting on the floor the way it is. So I used a few shims, got it shimmed up. Here's the new stylus package, and it says it requires 2 grams of force. So what I did is I adjusted this weight back here until the arm, when it came out of here, and when this is down, I'm not going to put it down right now because the stylus is in it, I don't want to damage it. So it was perfectly floating with the stylus in, and then I came back and I used my scale, this is my resin scale, and I laid it here, and I lowered the stylus onto it, and I adjusted that weight to give me 2 grams of tracking force. And that's the things I did. It played, it sounded phenomenal. My son was so happy with it. But what I noticed was, and it's not real bouncy now because I got to disconnect it, but see how it's kind of bouncy like that? You would go to hit this arm to raise it up or to lower it, or actually when it was really more when it was down and playing, and you'd hit this knob to raise it up, it would shake. And what I did is I went ahead and removed the bottom and took a look at it, and then I found these 2 screws here which allow this to come out. Let me get a hold of this. And as you lift this up, take a look there. That hole, and there's 2 in the back. These springs go into those holes, and there's supposed to be some foam in there to dampen this a little bit. That foam, when I touched it, turned to dust. So I've got some new foam. This is from the microphone I got from my podcast, and you can see the bottom piece is about, what is that, a little over 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe a 1/4 inch thick. That's right here. I'm going to cut that out, and I've measured, and it's just a little larger, those holes, than the size of a 1/4. So I'm going to use a 1/4. We're going to lay it in here, use a razor blade, cut us out a circle. We'll drop 4 of those circles into the 4 spring pots, and then we'll put it back together, and that should dampen the spring just enough to where we'll be able to raise the arm when it's on a record and not have to worry about it vibrating and causing the needle to bump and skip. That's a lot of stuff to cover in a very short period of time. It took a while to do all that, dial it in. I've got it looking and sounding great. I've got the other day, I think I may have mentioned in a video, the lift arm wasn't lifting all the way, and I found a screw underneath, an adjustment screw that was actually screwed all the way in, which meant it was hitting the bottom of the turntable, or the bottom of the not the turntable actually, but the bottom of the metal piece that the turntable is and the platen rides on. It was hitting the bottom of that, so it wasn't letting it rise. So I backed it off and then tightened the little adjustment nut, and now it's perfect. So I'm super happy. And like I said, he went out today and bought his first vinyl. He found 5 albums that he wanted, all really solid albums, and I'm going to work on this. He's out right now. While he's gone, I'm going to try to get this dampened and fixed. I'll get it fired up again. I wish I could play it for you guys, but I can't, or else I'll get slammed for copyright. But man, I'm so happy with how it's playing. I saw, and we got to the record store today, and I walk in, and they've got another. This is a PL12, Pioneer PL12 is the model, sitting on the rack up there. And I looked at the guy that owns the store and said, hey, how much do you get for that PL12? And he said, well, it's not really ready to sell yet. I got to clean it up and work on it a little bit. I said, well, that's fine. I said, if it were in working order, you were finished with it, what would you sell it for? And he told me $200. So that's probably a pretty fair price. This is not a super expensive turntable. It was a workhorse turntable, but I feel pretty comfortable. My son was really happy because he's got a decent turntable to start with. It's got plenty of adjustments for us to work the tracking and the anti-skate and all that, so he can do everything he needs to do, and he can get some really good sounding. It's not going to do any damage to his records, and they're going to sound great. And then he can decide later on, if he becomes somewhat of an audiophile, maybe he wants to upgrade to a serious turntable. But this is a great starter turntable. I'm excited to have it. I'm excited to fix it and excited to give it to him. And it was great to finally have somebody to go to a record shop with, because no one else is interested in my family, so I have to go by myself, and it stinks going by yourself because you can't talk about music, you can't, compare albums, all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm gonna hang up for a minute, and we're gonna get these little dampening pads made. I'm gonna get them installed, and we're gonna see if we can make an improvement to this top of this turntable. I cut out some new rubber stops, and I put the foam on top of them. It's still got plenty of flex, but it's nowhere near as bouncy as it was. I've got it leveled left to right, got it leveled front to back, and we want to check just because I move things around, I want to check let me drop it down. We're checking okay, we're 2.5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back that off to 2 because that's what the needle recommended. So let me do that real quick. I've got the pressure at 1.9. It was at 2.0. And by the time I got the camera, it backed off a little bit. So we are right at 2 grams of tracking pressure. Go ahead and raise that needle. We're on 33 1/3 RPMs. Let me get the scale out of the way very carefully. Power that off. What I want to do now is get a record. We'll clean it, and then I'm going to test it, and I'll let you know what happens. I've got a record on there. We're going to bring the needle out of the perch, which will start the turntable. I'm just going to clean the dust off of it. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now let's take her on over. Let's drop her down. Okay, I don't want to play enough to get in trouble, but I'm going to drop it and lift it. And the beauty of that is, before, when I hit the button to raise it, the needle would skip because there was so much bounce in here. I've stiffened it up just enough to where I can raise the needle without causing a bounce. So this is perfect. This turntable, all my son has to do is, you'll notice I've got this block and a couple of shims under here. I told him get a nice level desktop or a nice level tabletop, and use your level front to back. The rest of it is set and ready to go, and he should have an awesome turntable that should last him many years. And this is a great start for his vinyl collecting and vinyl playing. So this has been fun. Oh guys, it's hot out here today. I'm real happy about getting that turntable going. I wanted to work on that for a while. I think I'm going to go in the house and visit with the family for a while because I've been gone most of the morning shopping, and then I was out here working on this. So just going to go see what's up and what everybody's working on and what they're doing. I may come back out to the shop later tonight. I don't know, but I'll get this video together and show it to you as soon as I can. Thank you. Have a great day.